IT house. Now, the thing is, the demonstration is that said that a bad person will beat a good person every. Now, coming back to the topic, to build an organization that will last, people must possess certain behavioral characteristics that are deeply embedded. It's useful to think of any transformation as having two key dimensions, technical and social. The technical side includes tools and technology as a silver bullet for organizations attempting to make a leap from where they currently are to a more stable, In some ways, this part of transformation is more accessible and inviting to organizations. People love tools as they rise the promise of immediate action and commensurate results. Tools involve doing something that we usually equate with change for the better, often faulty assumptions based on emotions and hopeful aspirations. Technology is what we do. IT, especially, vulnerable to looking to tools and technology as a silver bullet for organization problems. Unfortunately, the typical positive impact introducing a new tool is a temporary illusion at the best. Tools have a place in transformation. To be sure, they do not normally change people's behavior or thinking patterns. The social side of lean IT transformation is less tangible and quite elusive. It involves one with transparency, professional challenge, and accomplishment, where great results seem to come naturally and others are absolutely toxic. We need a new culture around here, is a proclamation we hear often when working with organizations interested in adopting lean IT practices and the results they enable people to achieve. The social side of a lean is behavioral and thinking piece of the puzzle. Companies have been trying to figure this out for a very long time. Now, the foundation of the lean IT house is basically perhaps the most common mistake we see in organizations attempting to make a leap from where they currently are to a more stable, capable, and productive workplace without first establishing a solid base which the positive change can flourish. In the foundation, key elements are identified that need to be in place in order to provide an environment in which enterprise excellence becomes deep seated. The first thing is aligned purpose. The keystone of a solid transformation is clearly defined, understood, and continually reinforced purpose. In many organizations, there is no shared definition of purpose. This becomes ignored plaques hanging on the walls and rarely translating to a shared aim through the business. Purpose is frequently loosely understood and individually applied, underpinning of why we do the work we do. But when the purpose is aligned, everyone in the organization can clearly answer the question, why do we exist as an organization? And how does my work contribute to our goals? Improve process. The work you can do and should be viewed as a process. Inputs are received, effort transforms into something, and outcomes are passed on. We often see great people living the heroic efforts, contending with broken processes, and getting mediocre results. Many people have come to normalize and accept work processes that are ineffective, inefficient, laden with non value added tasks, and utterly frustrating. What is clearly lacking in most work environments is a method to clearly understand work processes and improve them. Respect for people, Respect people. At personal, one-to-one level plays a key role in building a culture of excellence. Most organizations list respect as one of their core values. This is admirable, but the behavior exhibited by the vast majority of companies, in fact, is the very opposite. A key component of respect for people is developing problem solving skills at all levels of organization, leaders, managers, and associates. Unseen leaders, command and control management decrees, vague goals, conflicting priorities, concealed problems, distrust, and gossip, all vivid examples of not respecting people. In our opinion, accommodating broken work processes as tolerable is perhaps one of the most disrespectful act as we can take. Problem solving. Most people will tell you that problem solving is what they do all day, dealing with whatever issues come in their way and doing whatever it takes to fix them. The problem here lies with autonomy, skill set, and overburden. People often don't have clarity of purpose and do possess problem solving skills or enough slack time to notice obstacles until they become too large to easily solve. When they are that large, no one has the time to solve them because they are overworked. It's a cruel cycle that is difficult to break. An amazing insight in practically every company you have visited, problem, improvement opportunity, they resort to variety of methods, including asking the boss, brainstorming, asking the five whys, starting A3, fishbone diagram, voting, selecting similar problems from their past, repeating their response, or just plain guessing. When a shared routine of how we face, frame, understand, and address problem is present, the time to implement countermeasures and assess their impact is significantly reduced. At the end of the day, effective widespread problem solving drives organizational learning. Culture of accountability. We often hear people complain. There is no accountability around here. After spending years observing people doing work and interacting with one another, we often see that some the same thing. So, what fosters accountability? When managers take responsibility and follow through our common practice, we see a very distinct environment, one with a significant difference in their area of respect, trust, sense, and common purpose. Appreciation of process, standard work, shared problem solving, and visual management. It is these foundational elements which combine to support a culture of shared accountability. Now, the first pillar is associates, where the value is created. The front line is where value is created. In IT, we are talking about business analysts, developers, data analysts, service techs, operations lead, maintenance techs, and all the members of the delivery stream. Anyone who directly contributes the development of and implementation, operation, maintenance of and use of technology, support flow of information, product, and services. The pillar consists of three behaviors. The first pillar consists of three behaviors that support a culture of excellence at a front line, create value, identify problems and opportunities, and improve the work process. Now, create value. The essence of doing work is creation of value. The essence of doing the right work is creation of customer value. When associates know what good work looks like and what work standards are aligned with the customer's needs, expectations, and values, good thing when IT work, the product, then a service than a reality. An amazing shift occurs. Why? Because when you shift your perspective towards delivering a product rather than a service, customer value becomes the focal point. For product focused organizations, it is clear what the customer value is because the customers buy what they value and ignore what they don't. For a service based focused areas of business, customer value is not so evident and often characterized as cost centers. Here, The emphasis shifts from pursuit of efficiency and cost control while not giving much attention to deliberate value creation. The focus misses the whole point of lean and value creation. In today's world, IT plays a central role developing, delivering, and supporting products that deliver value to customers. The key here is getting people in IT to understand the value they create. This can be challenged when IT staff are far removed from the customer. Something you can remedy by having your staff spend more time with the customer facing end user, or better still, identifying problems and opportunities, the other behavior. Edward Deming said, "You can't improve what you can't measure. Measurements play a critical role in determining whether people are achieving targets. But unless we create an environment where identifying problems and opportunities is expected, safe, and welcomed, we will be relegated to relentless cycle of reactive firefighting that typifies many IT shops. People need to know if they are winning or losing, and if life is ever going to get better. So much of the work that takes place in IT is undocumented, ad hoc, and performed in ways determined by a person performing the work that might be hard to envision or standard work in all that complexity. When standard work is not the norm, everyone performs work according to their understanding of what needs to be accomplished and how things should be done, resulting in high variability of quality and productivity. The essence of standard work is to move away from people doing work their way based on individual opinion and experience to everyone working in a more consistent fashion. When everyone on the team abides by the standard, we begin to intentionally impact variability. Standard work serves as a snapshot of what good work looks like and a baseline from which improvement can happen. There is a common uh, misperception that standard work hinders creativity. But the real purpose of standard work is to make repeatable work routine much more predictable and less burdensome. Freeing time up for creativity and thinking bandwidth is essential for more challenging tasks. Standard work also introduces trust and discipline as common behaviors in any team. The term discipline often conjures up images of marching in a single file or doing push ups, but the discipline we're talking about is shared agreement that team members would honor the process. In turn, it turns out that adhering to the current standard is shared behavior found within all organizations that have successfully transformed their culture. The other behavior: improve work processes through daily Kaizen. Kaizen is a Japanese term meaning change for good and often used to describe continuous improvement activities. Most Kaizen activity we see the workplace is a project based. Projects are a great way to get started, to introduce the tools and principles, and to carve out time for improvement. But there's a catch. The challenge with project based Kaizen is that it lacks the immediacy and emphasis on the spot problem solving done in real time. By the very nature, projects have a beginning, middle, and an end. True Kaizen does not have an end point, and it's continuous. The whole idea of continuous improvement is that uncasing without unceasing. It's common that people learn lean methods and tools in a project based setting. Although there is nothing inherently wrong with learning while working on a project, the transition from a project based work to a daily improvement has many deep seated barriers, both internal and external. Our project based paradigm, individually, we all view our work from a certain perspective. For example, majority of you work of your work is reactive in nature. Then you are likely to view how good you are at doing your job by the ability of nimbing jump from issue to issue, quickly refocus, and take immediate action. Your personal paradigm towards work may not embrace the need for a deeper level of understanding as cause and effect relationship or the value of developing cumbersome go beyond attacking systems. Project based environment effort reinforce the viewpoint there is simply no time to make improvement during my busy workday. After Kaizen project is complete, we go back to work and suspend all improvement work. The urgency and drama of the work encourages reactive behavior, which places more importance on immediate action than it does on lasting results. If we can put the fire today, we'll worry about tomorrow's problems when they come. And when we recognize the award heroic efforts and results at any cost, that's the behavior we cultivate and encourage. Cadence. In order to get a good at any new skill, practice is required. The more frequently we practice the activity, the more experience we gather, and the more proficient we become. Cadence is the rhythm, pattern, and pace with which we practice. An established cadence creates predictability of activity for the team as well as for the management and is a key ingredient in developing new habits. Habits can be both blessing and a curse. They reinforce behaviors that serve us well, or they waste our time. Some habits can be highly destructive, while others allow us to develop as human beings. The routine of establishing cadence reinforces new behaviors until they are embedded deeply as habits. The power of habit. Charles Duggs points out that habits follow a general sequence cue, routine, reward. A cadence implants a pattern. A pattern serves as a cue. A cue sparks routine. A reward reinforces that behavior. We'll explore improvement efforts that are exclusively project based, reinforce the reality, fortify reactive behavior. Daily Kaizen refers to common practice of stopping when someone encounters a problem, swarming to see the and understand, thinking and acting deeply, understanding and improve, and sharing the broadcast and learning. There is no boundary between doing work and improving work. So improvement is done continuously throughout the workday as problems, opportunities are encountered. Now, the second pillar is leadership, which aligns leaders, the C-level executives, directors, and management either actively promote alignment of purpose through a value stream perspective or unwittingly encourage disorder among departments and functions. A value stream compromises all the people, activities, and handoffs necessary to create and deliver value to the customer. In IT, vertical silos often focus exclusively on their specific segments of the IT value stream to determine the overall flow of value. Frontline associates focus primarily on the vertical work in front of them and when they circle of control their department, their team, and their piece of work product in order to generate improvement at value stream level. Leadership is needed to coordinate efforts horizontally among various departments to achieve positive change that is experienced by end customers. Value stream management is much easier to deliver when successfully executed. It is successfully executed. We move from managing functional silos to managing value streams. The inherent contradictions between goals and silos and the objectives and the organization becomes blatantly apparent. It is not easy to shift from a localized focus of your functional area. But effective leadership is more about supporting and coaching the development of people than making proclamations and or issuing orders. To do this well as a leader, you have to broaden your perspective. Behavior one, set direction. Strategy is about envisioning a future state and devising ways to reach it that will whether predictable as well as unforeseeable challenges. In transformation, it is essential for leaders to position continuous process improvement as a central component of how to endure the obstacles that certainly lie ahead. A good strategy answers the question, what are the most important things in this organization? When daily continuous processes improvement is absent from strategic intent and a strong message is sent concerning lack of priority and importance of embedded applied learning into daily work, the people become conditioned to know when another problem or initiative has arrived and learn that this too shall pass. Newsflash. People think about and do what their boss talks and about and does most often. Strategy can be intentional and deliberate or emergent and ad hoc. When strategy includes key initiatives, budgets, projects, schedules, operational performance, but fails to compromise target improved core business processes, few, if any, resources are allocated towards building a culture of enterprise excellence. It is the role of senior leadership with the input of management to articulate and reinforce shared directions. When strategy deployment is measured and traced, time and resources are allocated towards process improvement. This sends a clear message to people that company is serious about continuous improvement and that it is here to stay. Be careful here. The key is create culture of implementation and alignment. This is not measured by number of Kaizen events or inflated reports of improvement benefits. The other behavior, model ideal behaviors. We've all heard the familiar phrase, action speaks louder than words. Leaders and managers communicate what is really important. They demonstrate behavior they demonstrate is about the importance of respect for people, continuous improvement, and commitment to operational excellence. But only consistent behavior would conceive people that transformation is really here to stay. People tend to model their actions based on values, beliefs, and systems. Values are unique and internally based. You don't need to go there. Attempting to change someone's value is ill advised and probably fertile. While thought leaders model actions and conversations we want to prevalent in our workplace, people tend to gravitate towards new behaviors. The thought leaders are people of influence, excellence, thought leaders are often associates who consistently model their ideal behaviors while achieving great results. When work systems are adjusted to drive ideal behaviors, culture begins to shift and a new normal begins and emerge. This takes years of relentless effort of learning. Behavior 3, coach and develop people. The development of people is perhaps the most essential factor in creating a sustainable lean transformation, and even more so in an IT environment. IT professionals often equate professional development with learning new technical skills such as mastering form of people development. The type of growth we are referring here is more to do with problem solving, communicating, and effectively working within a team. In order to respect for people, in order for people to respect to learn new skills, they require training, opportunity to practice, and a coach support their progress. Of the lean transformations we've seen under deliver and stall out, 100% have included training, fewer have made adequate time to practice new skills, and none have done adequate job of developing internal coaches to nurture people as develop new ways of thinking and acting. Coaches is a learned skill, and often we find inadequate training and support for internal coaches. One organization we worked, they had a Everyone shall have a coach, and everyone will be a coach. The intent that edict was to make it clear that without trained, capable coaches, the transformation was going nowhere. Visual management. Visual management plays a key role in creating transparency in a workplace aligned all levels of the organization. Effective visual management system clearly answers the questions like what are we currently working on? Are we completing our work on time? What is the important what is important today? What does success look like right now? Are we winning or a losing team? What are the challenges and struggles we are facing? What continuous improvements? What is the extent of problem solving in our team? Matrix. Imagine watching a sporting event without scoreboard. Pretty boring, wouldn't you say? People need feedback to understand if their work are doing is moving towards the meaningful goal or not. Provide actionable feedback is on the spot respect for people. Meaningful actionable matrix connect behavior with results, supply predictive indicators to make thoughtful course corrections. Without measurement, it is possible to assess performance or the impact of a change. A central element of effective continuous process improvement is a common framework for problem solving. Perhaps the most accessible, widespread problem solving method is plan, do, check, adjust problem solving cycle. This structured approach to solving problems is at the same time easy to understand and deceptively difficult to execute. Check, adjust, I do not know whether impact and improvement, measurement and standards helps this regard. Peter Drucker said, what gets measured gets managed. That's usually true. But perhaps equally important point is are we managing the right things? Measurements drive behaviors. If we measure things that are outside of the direct control of people being measured, we are wasting time and disrespecting them. A feeling of helplessness can emerge as hope dims and disengagement becomes the team norm. As you will see, metrics and measuring the right things are more process discovery and exact science. Reflection, careful evaluation of our work performance, our interactions, our potential growth, our actual progress, and ourselves as human beings is a final component of our house. The Japanese term used to describe this activity as hansei, which relies on self awareness and personal assessment of a process of self improvement. Reflection requires courage to be honest about our weakness, humility to get comfortable with our blind spots and shortcoming. We can only improve those aspects of ourselves that we acknowledge need improvement. The purpose of reflection is to honestly assess what characteristics of our behavior worked and why didn't they work and act accordingly. This is similar to the plan, do, check, act or plan, do, check, adjust cycle in which that we most rigorously check our behavior, performance and results, thoughtfully identifying what needs to change. Like PDCA on the surface, this sounds very straightforward and simple. In practice, it is brutally difficult to accomplish. Thank you. Thank you for watching, and I hope people enjoy this.